I'm Janice and I hope your day is going well wherever you are. As you can tell by the title of my video, this will be a guide on how you can spend 24 hours when in Melbourne. Let's go. So we're gonna start this guide off at 7 AM. And if you know me well enough, you would know what the first thing on this list is gonna be. Coffee. Now, Melbourne has amazing coffee, as I've said in some of my other videos. I mean, Sydney is still the best, but Melbourne comes a close second. And so the first thing that I suggest you do is to get yourself a cup of coffee to start your day. Honestly, you really just can't go wrong with coffee in Melbourne. If you need inspiration on where you should go, check out my video right here. And while you're sipping on that coffee, take the opportunity to explore Melbourne's many laneways where you'll find really interesting shops and hidden gems. And with Melbourne being the very artsy city that it is, also check out one of Melbourne's most famous graffiti lanes. I have to say that this place looks really cool in pictures and in like magazine articles. But when I got there, it was so crowded. I could barely take a picture without some stranger being in my shot. So if you're just there for the experience and you want to soak it all in, then great. But if you want to take a picture for your Instagram, then I suggest coming back a bit later, like at night, because there's a lot less people at night and you can probably take a lot more photos without people sort of in your shot all the time. I went back at 8 PM and there was barely anyone there. Depending on how hungry you are, I'm assuming now would be a good time for you to go and find something to eat. Head on over to Queen Victoria Market and check that place out. Fun fact, the Queen Victoria Market is one of Melbourne's most iconic markets and has been in operation since 1878. It is one of the largest open-air markets in the Southern Hemisphere, and there is so much to check out. So you're sure to find something that you'd be interested in. Extremely important to research before you go places, because I was going to head to the Queen Victoria Markets and it's not open on a Wednesday. But when it's open, there is so much different things you can check out, whether it be fresh fruit and vegetables, nuts, seafood, coffee, bread, pastry, meat pies, like the list is endless. And there's so many cafes as well. So you're definitely gonna find some type of food that you're gonna enjoy. And then, now that your belly is full and you're fully re-energized, head on over to Flinders Street Station and check that place out. I personally thought this was really interesting, but this was Australia's first ever railway station, and in 1926 it was the most busy station in the world, which means that it was more busy than Grand Central Station in New York and Liverpool Street Station in London. How crazy is that? And if you want to take a picture of this iconic station, what I'd recommend is going across the street, like diagonally across it, so that you can see like the entire building. And I'd stand there for a few rounds of the traffic light so that you can wait for all the cars to stop, and then like if you're quick enough, snap it just in time. And while you're in the area, steps away from Flinders Street Station is Federation Square. It's a really unique spot in the heart of Melbourne, and there's always something going on there. There's the ACMI, which is the Australian Centre of Moving Images. It is a free exhibition about the journey of moving images. But if art isn't your thing, grab one of those beach chairs that you can find across the square, which is what I did. I found a chair, I sat under this like really nice umbrella, and I was watching whatever was on the big screen, which at the time was a Raptors versus Warrior game. I ended up sitting there for like an hour because the game was so good and I just couldn't bring myself to leave. It was a great game. Congratulations, Raptors. And then afterwards, it's lunchtime. I've said it before and I'll say it again. You really can't go wrong with Melbourne cafes. I love Melbourne brunch, lunch, breakfast foods here. I've made a video recently on my 5 favorite places to get brunch, so check it out if you need inspiration. Now, depending on what your preferences are, we have a few options as to how you can spend the next few hours of your day. If shopping is your thing, head on over to Bourke Street Mall, where you can find department shops and flagship fashion brands. But if you have zero interest for shopping, you don't want to pay extra for baggage, head on over to Brighton Bathing Boxes if photography is more your thing. This is an iconic group of 82 wooden bath boxes that were used by the ladies to to get changed into their swimming costumes before they headed on over to the beach. But if you can't be bothered to trek all the way there, then maybe check out NGV, the National Gallery of Victoria. Entry into the NGV is free, but if you want to go to one of their like special exhibitions, you'll have to pay a little bit more. I'm not sure how much that price is, but check out their website to see what is on, how much it is. Now the next part of the day is something that I personally enjoyed a lot, but it's probably not for everyone. I actually really enjoy being around large bodies of water because I find that really calming. And if you do as well, then head on over to St. Kilda's Wharf. I honestly don't think my camera does it justice, but right now we are at St. Kilda Pier. Not only can you see the panoramic skyline of Melbourne, but you can also see penguins. There's a special boardwalk that you can get quite close to them. Like there's a fence so you can't actually touch them or anything, but you can get very, very close and you can see them and you can hear them, and it is so, so cool. Okay, I found the place. There's a lot of people here. You should try and come like just before and around sunset because that's when the penguins come out. I see them. Look. And now dinner. Melbourne has an amazing food scene with some of the best restaurants. Just go down Flinders Lane and you find a whole series of amazing food. If you're willing to splurge a bit, then definitely go check out one of these restaurants, which is what I did for the purposes of this video. Alright, so I have just got myself a lobster roll from Super Normal. I'm incredibly excited because there is so much hype about this lobster roll. And it was really, really packed. Oh my gosh. Okay, I knew the place was fancy, but I was expecting it to be slightly bigger for some reason. This was $17. All right, this is the lobster roll that I'm talking about. I'm laughing because I thought it would be a lot bigger. And this is literally a 2-biter for me. But I'm very, very excited. All right, without further ado, let's try this lobster roll. It better be good. This was $17. Okay. It's actually really delicious. The lobster meat it's just oozing with lobster meat, and the sauce is delicious. It was probably the best bite of lobster I've ever had in a roll. But for $17, I'd expect it to be like at least the size of a Subway sandwich. So would I pay $17 to eat that again? No. That was delicious, but I'm still so hungry. So we're gonna have to go get more food. And so speaking of food, here's one place that you can always rely on for cheap and delicious food. Chinatown. Make sure you give Chinatown a visit when you're here. I got a whole steamer of dumplings, I think they were 8, and a gigantic bowl of noodles, all for under $20. It was delicious and amazing and warming. This is just noodles on its own. The broth tastes absolutely amazing. I think it's some sort of like meat bone broth. It's quite, in terms of like viscosity, it's quite viscous. It's not just a clear broth. And it tastes so, so good. Okay, these are the soup dumplings. I keep breaking them as I'm eating them. My favorite way of eating them is to put some vinegar on it. I don't even need like soy sauce or anything. You can never go wrong with dumplings, ever. You can always trust Chinatown to find cheap and delicious eats. You think this is it? Nope. Experience Melbourne's nightlife and check out their hidden bars and themed bars. I visited Storyville Bar, which is Melbourne's fairy tale themed bar. They have themed cocktails and a pretty sick interior. And overall, it was a pretty cool experience. Alright, last and definitely not least, if you're still out and about late in the evening or very early in the morning, go get yourself a good old slice of pizza. I know, I'm lactose sensitive, but I really just couldn't resist some cheesy goodness to end the night, and I like to live in the moment and not think about the consequences. Alright, that is it. That's a lot to pack into 24 hours, so pick and choose as you please. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching till the end. I post new videos every Tuesdays and Fridays, so check them out if you have time. Turn on your notification bell if you haven't already. Subscribe to this channel if you haven't already, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!